welcome to MsMojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most long-awaited TV kisses.
I mean, I just... What are you doing?
Will you just stand still?
Say it's never going to work out between us. Say you never loved me. Say...
For this list, we'll be taking a look at the small screen smooches we waited ages for. Swoon-worthy spoilers ahead. Let us know if we missed your favorite in the comments below. Number 10. Damon Salvatore and Elena Gilbert, The Vampire Diaries. As soon as Elena quite literally ran into Damon in the second episode of the series, Vampire Diaries fans were hooked. Their love triangle with Stefan dragged on, and while there were small nuggets here and there, such as Elena chastely pecking Damon as he lay dying, the two didn't officially kiss until season 3. At the time, Damon and Elena were working to get Stefan back from Klaus, and Stefan and Elena were still together.
Klaus is trying to send us a message. He wants us to find Stefan, who stole his coffins full of his dead family members.
Coffins?
Yep.
Though Damon still considered Elena his brother's girl, hello patriarchy, he kissed her, knowing she would go back to Stefan in the end.
If I'm gonna feel guilty about something, I'm gonna feel guilty about this.
It still took another season for these two to get together, but we appreciated this kiss in the meantime. Number 9. Brienne of Tarth and Jaime Lannister, Game of Thrones. Let's just ignore everything that happens in the last few episodes of Game of Thrones and only remember the good times, like when these two finally locked lips. Jaime and Brienne didn't start off on the best of terms. Honestly, there probably aren't worse terms two people could start on.
Why should I care how you die?
You swore a solemn vow, remember? You're supposed to get me to King's Landing in one piece. Not going so well, is it?
But throughout the show, their respect for each other grew. Jaime trusted Brienne enough to tell her the true story behind the Mad King's death, and Brienne's honor inspired Jaime to be the knight he always longed to be. Season 8 definitely lacks high points, but the scene where Jaime knights Brienne is one of the best in the show's history.
Arise, Brienne of Tarth, a knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
And their long-awaited kiss was pretty great too.
I've never slept with anyone before.
Then you have to drink. Those are the rules.
I told you.
Number 8. Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert Wayne, A Different World. Towards the beginning of A Different World, the idea of romance isn't really on Dwayne or Whitley's mind, but it certainly was on the audience's. As the show went on, the chemistry between the two was undeniable.
Well, it certainly is good to see a familiar face. Although you don't look all that familiar.
Oh, my suit. Well, I was in Toronto on business.
Dwayne might not have been the type of guy Whitley would usually go for. He didn't have the rich guy look, he wasn't on the finance or business track, but he was the only guy who cared to get to know her, and that's what really matters.
Well, looks like we're all done.
No, we're not.
Well, what's left?
Plus, both of these characters dated and loved other people before coming together. They knew themselves and knew what they wanted, which made them perfect for each other, and made this kiss worth the wait.
Oh, whoa. One more thing.
What?
I love you too.
Number 7. Luke Danes and Lorelai Gilmore, Gilmore Girls. Quick banter and obscure pop culture references a happy couple make. Fans knew from the start that Luke and Lorelai had something special. They're the epitome of opposites attract. He's surly, she's perky, she's a caffeine addict, he runs a diner that sells coffee. It's the perfect match.
This is a coffee morning.
Every morning for you is a coffee morning.
This is a jumbo coffee morning. I need coffee and an IV.
I give you tea and a balance bar.
But the showrunners dragged this obviously perfect couple out for 4 long seasons before fans got that much anticipated first kiss.
This could be a totally innocent situation, and then we've done all this what-ifing for nothing. Let's just go back in there and see if anything's weird, okay? Okay.
Is everything okay?
Yes.
In typical Gilmore Girls fashion, the build-up to the moment is hilarious and witty. Lorelai's attempts to figure out if Luke is serious towards her are a hoot, and the culminating moment is absolute perfection.
What are you doing?
Will you just stand still?
Number 6, Donna Paulsen and Harvey Specter, Suits. When it comes to workplace romance, these two might take the cake for the longest wait time. Fans waited 7 seasons for these two to finally take the plunge, although they would have to wait a whole other season for them to actually get together. But even though it took them forever to get there romantically, these two always had each other's backs. Actor Gabriel Macht even called the pair each other's other half.
I don't know how to say this.
Just say it, Donna. What?
Your dad, he had a heart attack.
He's right. Whether it was working on a case or being there for each other emotionally, like when Harvey's dad died, these two were basically in a relationship already, just minus the physical part.
Where's Lois? Because I have some news, and I think you should both.
And boy, are we glad they added the physical part. Number 5, Clark Kent and Lois Lane, Smallville. There have been many iterations of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, but these two might win the award for the most screen time without a smooch. Lois didn't make it onto the show until season 4, but when she did, the chemistry she had with Clark was undeniable.
Wait. Who are you?
Lois Lane.
Of course, the showrunners made fans wait until season 9 for that chemistry to finally come to fruition, all while making Clark navigate his superhero life without letting Lois in on his secret. These two had smaller kisses before, but whether it was Clark masquerading as Green Arrow or a run-in with Red Kryptonite, something always made those kisses feel a little less official than this one, which is why it's perfect.
I never should have tried out in the first place or dragged you there with me, and I just...
Number 4, Dana Scully and Fox Mulder, The X-Files. Talk about making us wait for it. Scully and Mulder may as well have invented the idea of the slow romantic burn. Ever since the beginning, the tension, both positive and negative, between these two could cut a knife.
If you have any doubt about my qualifications or credentials...
You're a medical doctor. You teach at the academy. You did your undergraduate degree in physics. Einstein's twin paradox, a new interpretation. Dana Scully's senior thesis. Now that's a credential, rewriting Einstein.
It may have had something to do with Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny's reported less than friendly relationship while filming, which could have had a hand in creating sparks on camera. But don't worry, the two are good friends now. Tension aside, after 143 episodes, our favorite alien-hunting, crime-fighting duo finally locked lips. And at the turn of the century, no less. Fitting. Number 3, Josh Lyman and Donna Moss, The West Wing.
Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Donna Moss. Who are you?
I'm Josh Lyman.
Ah.
Yes.
I'm your new assistant.
Of course, the polls could be the only thing to heighten the tension and finally push these two lovebirds over the hump. It's hard to imagine The West Wing without Josh and Donna, but the relationship almost never existed. Janelle Maloney was only hired for one scene in the first episode, the scene where she brings Josh coffee. Apparently, the chemistry between the two actors was so off the charts, producers hired her on as a regular. 7 seasons and much political banter later, the two finally kissed in the wake of a campaign victory. The romance of politics. Number 2, Niles Crane and Daphne Moon, Frasier.
Daphne, this is my brother Niles.
From the first time Niles laid eyes on Daphne, he was smitten. But he was married at the time, so yeah, he couldn't really do anything about it. But even after Niles' marriage ended, it took a long time for this relationship to come to fruition. The lists of almosts for these two is too long to count. From the pair's explosive tango at the ball, to the Seattle heatwave fiasco, to Niles losing his nerve time and time again.
I can't imagine what you must be thinking. Me barging in, asking to spend the night.
Well, gee, I'm just thinking so many things.
But all the near misses made it all that more satisfying when the two finally did the deed. Kissed, that is.
You know, a lot of times.
Oh, for God's sake, Dr. Crane.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Seeley Booth and Dr. Temperance Bones Brennan. Bones. Brennan, that is not what kissing your brother is like. Joey Potter and Pacey Witter. Dawson's Creek. Instead of talking, there's this.
No,
I don't want to talk anymore.
What are you trying to say,
Joe,
Pacey? Why are we standing? I don't.
Leo Fitz and Gemma Simmons, agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Cosmos wants them together.
He did everything right.
And you dove through a hole in the universe for me.
Michonne and Rick Grimes, The Walking Dead. Walkers can't keep them apart. Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoak. Arrow. Never say never.
Say it's never going to work out between us. Say you never loved me. Say...
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Elliot Stabler and Olivia Benson, Law & Order Special Victims Unit. We know, this one hasn't technically happened yet, but doesn't that mean it is the most long-awaited kiss in television history? And we mean long. Stabler and Benson have everything going for them. Professional respect, an emotional connection, and physical chemistry through the roof.
I should have talked to you. It's just too complicated.
Look, if you're willing to die for someone, that's a pretty good measure of how much you care about them.
But you liked working with her.
She didn't have to handle me. How'd you like working alone?
I didn't.
Christopher Maloney may have left the Special Victims Unit in 2011, but there's a spin-off coming with Maloney on board. So we're not writing anything off just yet.
Guys gotta eat, huh?
You got good taste, I give you that.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.